Bonnie and Clyde had a daughter, she'd be sitting across the coffee table telling me her life story. She sits like a tombstone. In her graveyard of a living room, her voice is softer than rose petals falling on coffins, and she tells me. She had her first cigarette in elementary school. Now she goes to a pack a day, but would smoke more if she could afford to. I tell her she's killing herself. As her lips laugh, her eyes tell me she died a long time ago, along with her surroundings. She begins counting off deceased loved ones on her fingers, and by now, she's gone through more names than cigarettes she's had all day, and it reminds me that death is addictive. Her presence is legendary. Hair runs down her shoulders like the famous Montana River she grew up around. Eyelashes like bristles that brush scriptures. Her head turns like a page in the Bible. Told me the story when her mom got her to try crack for the first time like it was a parable. See, she hates her history of inhaling, yet somehow she treasures her past, but treats tomorrow like yesterday's trash. Go figure. She hasn't had a reason to live since she was a kid. Her heart is battered and bruised. It drums in rhythm with an abused tune, so even breathing reminds her of the beatings that occurred in her ribcage of a home that was made out of bloodstains and bones. She didn't play with her food when she was younger, so hunger became her childhood friend. Love was something that Bonnie couldn't lend, while Clyde could only spend his quality time trying to make jail bars bend, because when her older brother was born, it gave them a dose of life that they weren't ready to try. So it's no wonder why they treated their second child like a bad high, because parenting to them was more like a recreational drug that they weren't too comfortable with. Had a bad experience the first time, so Sarah became a syringe they couldn't seem to really connect with. But I guess too many rubber bands over time can change the flow of love in a bloodstream. She has dreams emerging in her conscious as subtle as a fetus forming in a crack fiend's womb. She has to choose between a second chance and an aborted possibility. Her future kicks and turns to let her know that it's real, but she can't stomach a better tomorrow. When a couple weeks ago her father aided his symptoms of sorrow with the bullet he swallowed like the last pill he would ever have to take. Could you imagine your father pointing a barrel at his own face? Could you imagine? Gun smoke forming in your father's place like a 1930s criminal desperate escape. And as we sit comfortably in the couches at the crime scene, I ask if I can write about her life as if my pen could deliver her dreams. But no, I'm writing this poem to help you deliver yours and remind myself that I've talked to a tombstone before. She had death dates chiseled into her wrinkles and hardships cemented into her background, and I will never forget the moment she told me yes. Blew out her last bit of smoke. I could have swore I saw her father's ghost form in front of her and tell her, you have another chance.